Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I think we'll give you 2 more minutes to join in. In the meantime, feel free to soak in this nice dashboard you see in front of you. And we'll get into the story of this dashboard and how to set it up in just a couple of minutes. So feel free to look into this. And we'll get started in 1.5 minutes. And this is not a slide. This is a live dashboard. So, okay, 30 more seconds and we'll get started. I see more and more people joining in. And in the meantime, some housekeeping items, feel free to post any questions you have as I go through this in the chat window. I'll try to address those as much as I can throughout and at the end. Okay, I think we have enough people to get started. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Ariel Porilis. I'm the head of product marketing at Rivery. If you haven't heard of Rivery, we are a data integration platform. We help companies bring data from many different data sources into the data warehouses, lake houses, data lakes, then integrate that data together and even push it back into operational systems. Thank you, team on the team, for organizing this no slide event. I'm a big fan of demos versus just doing a slide deck. So hopefully all of you share the same passion. What I'll be talking about today is how to set up this very nice dashboard you see in front of you that will give you as a head of marketing or as someone that leads the ad spend in your company, or even if you're just a data engineer supporting marketing teams or not even marketing teams, but any team in the organization and want to understand how to support your team, bringing data from many different data sources, integrate that together, and present it to the business user in a way that it can action on it. That's the goal of this session. So specifically the story that we have in front of us, this is a B2B digital ad cross-channel performance dashboard. This is built in Sigma. I'll show you what it is in a moment, but essentially from a business perspective, what this gives you is a very good understanding of your ad campaigns across different digital channels. We have data coming from multiple channels. In this case, it's coming from Google ads, Bing ads, YouTube ads, which are all channels under the what we call paid search category. And then we have channels which are under the paid social, like X, formerly known as Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. These are all channels where most B2B organizations would be advertising under. And of course, those different campaigns carry a lot of investment. And there is a need to optimize those investments, make sure that we're investing in the right campaigns, in the right channel, with the right messages. Sometimes the campaign we run are very similar across different channels. We want to see which channel is performing the best for that specific message. But it's not that easy to do. As marketeers, if you manage those campaigns, you'll see each one of those applications and data sources. They have different interfaces where you can measure the success of your campaigns. And you kind of find yourself going between those different consoles of the Google ads and Bing ads and LinkedIn, and then trying to figure it out and see how it all comes together. So what this dashboard is trying to do is give you that understanding in a way that kind of really unifies the results of the different campaigns you have across those different channels in one place. And then from here, it's very easy to compare them. You can compare them across key metrics like spend, clicks, impressions, conversion, of course, and even connect that to other metrics in your business outside of those sources that would give you more indication of the success of those campaigns, the actual, not just conversion of the ads, but also a conversion to maybe booked meetings for demos of your product, maybe, and of course down the road, actual sales made from those ads. So just to walk you through a little bit of this dashboard, what you see here at the top is a set of filters allowing you to filter this by date, by specific channel, channel type. Maybe you want to compare across paid search versus paid social channels. And then you can even filter to the specific campaign. At the top, we'll have our top KPIs, spend, clicks, impressions, click-through rate. And then as we get through this, we can really start, as we get into the details, break it down by more and more details. So at first, we can see it by channel, across the leading channels. Again, we can switch the measurement that we want to look at. We also have a trend over time here. We can see a nice peak happening at some point. Maybe there's a specific event that led to that peak. And then we can see the results organized by the different campaigns across different channels. We can expand that, go into the details. And then at the bottom here, this is where we have the detailed row level information. One of the nice things about Sigma is that I can even create a write back experience here, maybe add some comments here around different campaign success and see the results that they, as I analyze that. So this is the dashboard that we built in a tool called Sigma. It's actually a very simple and powerful BI applications or dashboarding application. If you're not familiar with it, quite popular these days. If you haven't heard of Sigma, head out to sigmacomputing.com. The main premise of Sigma is being able to analyze and visualize the data as if it was a spreadsheet. So as if you're working in Excel, everybody knows Excel. So everybody should know Sigma kind of the same way, but then be able to go further and do so not on within the boundaries of Excel, which is limited data volumes and the ability to analyze data, but do so at great scale with a direct connection to your underlying database. And so in this case, our underlying database that we use behind this dashboard is Snowflake, which I'll be showing in a few moments. And then we need one more component in this story to bring it all together, which is a way to bring data from those 5 different or even more sources of a ad spends a channel into the Snowflake database, and then from there into Sigma to be able to analyze that. So my goal in the next 23 minutes is to show you how I put all this together with no code, very quick and simple experience, and then still be able to control it, customize it, and make it my own. This is suitable for any data engineer, data analyst, maybe you're a digital agency that's trying to provide this type of reporting analytics to your customer. Maybe you're an internal BI team, getting those requests from your marketing team. Maybe you're a marketing data analyst, building those reports internally. This demo would be applicable to all of you. And of course, from a consumer perspective, if you're managing and organizing budgets of digital ads, this demo as well is relevant for you. So how do I get to this nice dashboard? If I go to the Sigma website, you can see here under the product menu, there's a category called interactive demos. If I open that, this will take me to a nice library of Sigma with different dashboards I can look at. Lots of great examples. The one I was showing you just a moment ago is this one. So I'll open it up. And you can see here, I can view this template. And this is a template that, as I mentioned, we at Rivery built on top of a predefined data model that we created across our different ad sources. So if I want to get this template, essentially what I need to do is click on this Get Template on the top right-hand side. And here you can see detailed instructions of what I need to do. But essentially, as I mentioned, it's pretty simple and straightforward. The premise of this template is built on what we call at Rivery a kit. So if I click on the link to take me to the kit, essentially the kit is the Rivery equivalent to the Sigma template. And as I mentioned, Rivery is a data integration tool. So we have a template for integrating data across different data sources and creating an output data model for it. So you can see here, this is our kit, and you can see here how to set it up. I'll show you that in a few moments. And then what happens behind the scenes. So it actually explains the data flow. So you can see data flowing in from all those 5 different marketing ad channels, bringing in different fact tables, then running some kind of a logic to unify and clean up the data, but mostly unify it across those different sources. And the unification is done using this logic here. So you can actually see here a nice table that maps out how I would handle different terms that are related to my campaign management across different channels. Of course, each channel uses slightly different terminology or maybe a slightly different hierarchy to manage my campaigns. And here you can see how we've mapped it across those different channels. So you can kind of make sense of what data I'm seeing when it's coming into one aggregate view in my dashboard. So I can go from here and just click on use this kit directly from here. And what this will do, it will now bring this kit into my River account. If I don't have a River account, it will prompt me to sign in and then use this kit. But as I mentioned, this kit is bringing its data from those different sources into Snowflake. So what I need to have also is a Snowflake account. And if you don't have a Snowflake account, you can head out to the Snowflake website and just start one for free, which is what I'll do right now with you. So I'll go in here and I'll sign in, and I think I can sign in with just my Gmail account. Hopefully no problems with that. And I'll put here my role as marketing. I'll continue. I'll choose where I want to run my Snowflake account. I'll run it on AWS. And I'll get started. Snowflake is going to ask me a few questions. What is this for? So I'm going to say this is for some personal learning and development. And what will I be using Snowflake for? So I'll use Snowflake as a data warehouse. And I'm also going to run some data analysis and build visualizations. There's other options as well, but for now, maybe I'm going to load data and build data pipelines as well. I'm going to continue. The language I'm going to use here is SQL. Of course, Snowflake supports others, but in this case, SQL will be sufficient. I'm going to submit this, and I'm signed up. So now what's going to happen, it's actually going to email me with my account. So I'm going to go into my other screen here, which I'm not sharing, but that's OK. That's my inbox. I'm just going to open that. And hopefully, I'm going to get my email very shortly so we can progress this demo along. Let's go, Snowflake. Okay, still waiting for this email. Hopefully it comes in shortly. If it doesn't come in shortly, I'll proceed with another Snowflake account. But let's give it one more second and see if I'm getting this email. Oh, I see what I'm not getting the email. I have a typo in my email. Let's redo this. Sign up very, very quickly. My apologies. So now I have even less than 23 minutes to do it, but hopefully I can. Okay, let's try again. Okay, now my email is the right email. Okay. Good. Okay, looks good. Let's continue. Do this very quick. Load data, use the warehouse, run the analysis and build visualizations, SQL. Perfect. Okay, and now I should be getting my email. And here we go. I did get my email. I'm going to click to activate it. And I'm going to bring it right into this screen. Fantastic. Okay, let's create a user account name here. Okay, creating my user account in Snowflake. Fantastic. And I've logged into Snowflake. Amazing. Okay, so now I'm in Snowflake, and it's asking me how do I want to start. And there's a few ways to start. I can explore some sample data. In this case, I don't want to use Snowflake sample data. I want to bring in my own data. Or I can load it into Snowflake. So I'm going to start by loading data into Snowflake. And in here, it will ask me how do I want to load data. Do I want to load it using local files from a cloud storage like S3? or do I want to bring in data using a partner connection? So I'm going to use that. I'm going to bring data in using a partner connection. You can actually see here Sigma is actually a partner connection as well, but in this case, the category I'm going to look in is data integration, and the tool I want to use is Rivery. So I'm searching for Rivery. Here's Rivery, and essentially when I choose that, this actually helps me eliminate some steps I will need to walk through down the road, because it's actually creating my Rivery account for me. And it's also going to create a connection in Rivery to my Snowflake account automatically. So that's fantastic. That saved me time. So I'm going to go ahead and connect directly from the Partner Connect. And I'm going to launch my account in Rivery. So once I launch my account in Rivery, I'm going to log in here. I'm going to use a different account. Let me go and bring that account right from here. And here is my Rivery account that I've logged into. Fantastic. Okay, so now I'm in my Rivery account, and I have my Snowflake trial account as well, which is on this window. Okay, so I have two windows, Rivery and Snowflake. Now, what I need to do now is use the kit I just showed you a moment ago in Rivery to start creating my data pipelines to bring data into Snowflake. So I'm going to go into kits in Rivery and search quickly for that account. Now you'll see here two kits that I can use. I have my real kit, B2B paid ads campaign performance, which I can connect to the real data sources behind the scenes. But in this case, for the sake of this demo, I'm going to use this one that contains some sample data. So I'm going to go ahead and preview this kit, same step that I showed you earlier, and I'm going to click on Use Kit. So at this moment, what's happening now is that Rivery is now going to work on bringing all the data pipelines that are pre-configured in this kit template into my own Rivery account. In the meantime, I'll head over to my Snowflake instance. And right in here, what I will do is I'll create some permissions to run my data pipelines. So actually two things I'll do. I'll create some permissions, but before I create the permissions, I'm going to run a small script here, which is detailed in the kit details. Essentially what I'm doing here is I'm creating a database I want to load data into. So I'm going to call this database no slides. Let's do it all in caps. And I'm going to apply it here as well. Here too. And here as well. I'm actually going to use a different role in here. I'm going to use my demo role. Okay, fantastic. So what did I do here? I have a small SQL script here that's creating a database called Marketing Quick Start No Slides. And I'm going to use this database, Marketing Quick Start No Slide. And in it, I'm going to create different schemas, 5 schemas for each one of those data sources I have, and one that would be the combined schema across all of them. Finally, I'm going to use this database, and I'm going to give the role named demo permission to use it, monitor it, create some schemas, and I'm going to grant this permission on all the schemas in this database. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run this, and now it's actually going to start creating in my Snowflake account that new database as well as all those schemas. I should be able to see that momentarily. So it's creating it. 11, 12, 13. Fantastic. Okay, great. My statement is executed successfully. If I refresh here, I have this new Marketing Quick Start No Slide database with the different schemas in it. Excellent. Let's go back into my Rivery environment. And in the meantime, Rivery came back once I clicked on the Use Kit, and it's telling me, okay, let's set your connection. Now you'll notice here, I have one connection that goes to Snowflake. Okay, so this is the connection that I've pre-configured when I used Partner Connect. So I'm going to use that one. If I didn't have one, I can click on Add New. And what you see here is also a connection to a Postgres database. Now, the reason we have a connection to a Postgres database and not to those 5 different marketing ad channels I've talked about earlier is because this is the database that contains my sample data. Essentially, what I did before this demo is I've loaded data from those 5 different ad channels. I've scrambled data, anonymized it. and load it into one database that reflects the same. Now, if I were to use the real kit, you would see here 5 connections I had to go in and configure. It's a very simple configuration. Usually it's a one-click button. If I connect to a database, it requires me to input here the database settings. So I'll go in here and quickly paste those settings in. So let's give this a name. I'm going to use this as my connection. Here's my host. Let's copy paste it in. My database name. My username is Snowflake. I'll paste in my password. And that's all I need for now. And of course, there's more settings for me to tinker with, but in this case, for the sake of a demo, that should be sufficient. I'm going to test my connection, and let's see if the test comes back successful. Hopefully, I pasted in everything successfully. Okay, my connection passed. Excellent. I'm going to save it. Fantastic. So I have my template brought over, and I told my template, let's use this connection for Postgres, this connection for Snowflake. I'm going to hit next. And what's happening now? Rivery is bringing this kit into my account with that connection configuration. So essentially, it's now configuring in each one of the data pipelines I have to pull data for Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, all those 5 different sources I mentioned earlier, to use this connection. It's also telling it to pour the data into my Snowflake database. So my kit is on its way. It should be here momentarily. And once it's here, essentially, I'll see all the what we call in Rivery rivers, essentially a flowing data river or data pipeline. So I'm going to open that, and I'll see all the rivers I brought in with this configuration. Here they are. And I have a few. I have a few rivers pulling data for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, Bing, and Google. And then I have what we call logic rivers that essentially organize the data and unify it. And then I have one master logic river that brings all that together. If I open this master one, you can see what's happening here. I have a container here, which is essentially my ingestion container. It's bringing in all data from those different sources, from Facebook, Bing, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google. And then I have a step that's running after all those ingestion rivers are done to combine all those together. This is happening using this SQL statement in here. So you can see here I have a SQL statement that essentially selects from that database marketing that I've created in Snowflake with that Facebook schema into one fact table and union that with the Google data and with the LinkedIn data and so on. So this is my SQL statement that combines it all together. Now, you may have noticed I had a variable in there that referred to my database and my schema, this variable right here. So let's create those variables very, very quickly. I'm going to add a variable in here. And this is going to be the most tedious part of this experience, essentially just copy pasting a few variables in here. Actually, I may already have created those. So I'm just going to change the name of those from demo to no slides. Fantastic. Okay, I actually think I've saved myself a lot of time because now all my variables are available and I can go back to my rivers and start running those. So let's go into my master river and hit the run button. So what's happening now is Rivery is going to go through all those steps. Let's see those again. So I have the ingestion steps. It's going to execute them one by one, bringing data in from all those different sources. Let's click on view the run details. And hopefully I've set up all correctly and I didn't miss any step. But essentially you can see it's running the first container. And in that first container, I have 5 different steps. each channel. So it's running those and it's bringing data from those channels into a Snowflake. Again, I hope I didn't miss any configuration, and it will all flow nicely. Let's give it a few seconds here to execute. How are we doing on time here? 5 more minutes. I should be good. Okay, by the way, this is just a minimized view of what River is doing here behind the scenes, which is obviously ingesting data from different sources. That's great. We already see our first one from Google Ads ingested. That took just under a minute, 59 seconds. And now it's moving on. Facebook is done. Let's say give it a few more seconds and we'll finish the other sources. It's running them in parallel. Each one is maybe with different volumes of data or different logic to clean up the data after it's ingested. So Bing is done. 2 more to go. LinkedIn, Twitter is done. And then my final step to unify data across all those different sources into one fact table. So this is the last step and it's done. Fantastic. Okay, so I've executed my River. And now if I go back in here and I open my digital analytics schema and I look at tables, I have one table in here. Let's look at that table. And you can see here, I have all those different columns now automatically created by this River. And of course, they're all populated. I have 28.1 thousand rows already populated in this table. Great. So I've ingested data from Rivery, using Rivery from the 5 different ad channels into my Snowflake data warehouse. And now at this point, I can then essentially go back to Sigma. And what I can do here is I can use a Sigma technique called swap the data source. So if I look at a template, this template is pointing to my sample data. And so this is what it looks like. But if I were to do it on my own real data set, I would just go in, swap my data source in Sigma, and now this dashboard will populate with my own real data coming from those 5 sources instead of this sample data that I've provided here for this demo. Now, if you don't use Sigma and you want to just quickly test and validate your data in Snowflake, that's also possible. Snowflake has what's called Snowsight, which is an ability to create some simple dashboards in it. So let's go in here and create this new no slide demo dashboard. And I'm going to create a new visual in here. So I'm going to create a new tile here. It's going to be from SQL worksheet. And I'm going to, in the minute I have left here, or minute and a half, I'm going to go in here and paste a SQL statement that I also provided with my kit. So I'm going to go in here. Let me find that SQL statement very quickly on my other screen. Here we go. Copy that in here. And I'm going to do this against this no slides database, against this schema here. And I'm going to run this query. Actually, fantastic. So I got my query running, and you can see it's filtered on the last day. Now, because this is mock data, I don't have data for the last day. Let's do it for all time and run this query again. And here we go. Now I'm getting some results across my different channels. And I have some basic ways to visualize this. I can switch from a table to a chart. A few more configurations I can play with here. But essentially, if I'm happy with this, I can save this. And again, let's go back to a chart view here. And what I can do now is I can return to my dashboard. And here's my first visual showing on my dashboard. And of course, formatting stuff that I can do here as well and play with it. The finished results can look similar to this dashboard here. Let's go into the last 12 months, for example. Apply this. So I have a bunch of filters here that I've applied, but essentially you can see here not as advanced dashboard as I can see in Sigma, but pretty good around my impressions, click spend, comparing the different channels over time, and my different campaign results. So very powerful way to bring all the data from all your different sources into Snowflake, integrate them together. And the beauty is that all of this is available to you. So if you wanted to change the logic, you can go back to Rivery, open here this SQL statement, and essentially control whatever logic you want to have when you aggregate your data from those different sources and when you integrate together. Maybe the way you manipulate the data as they come from the source is also something you want to control. That's all available to you. So you can see here the cleanup I've done on this specific source. I think I opened the Facebook one. Yeah, I did. So you can see I had my first step here, ingesting data from Facebook to Snowflake. And then I have a step here that they essentially create some transformation on my data, which I can, of course, modify to my liking. So here you go. In maybe even less than 30 minutes, I was able to ingest data from 5 different data sources, bring it into a new Snowflake data warehouse I've created, and then connect that either to a dashboard in Snowflake or to a dashboard that I built in Sigma. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or other and ask me any questions about this, or just go ahead and try it yourself. Looking forward to get your feedback on this. Thank you, everyone.